On this episode of Cox Connections, through its community-based initiatives, the Urban League of Hampton Roads has been able to improve people's lives through education, civic engagement, and economic empowerment. From housing to employment and education, as well as health, the Urban League is here to talk about what it's doing to help this area prosper and grow. The Virginia Center for Inclusive Communities works to promote understanding and respect on issues of diversity for all age groups across the state of Virginia. Learn more about the programs this organization has to offer so that we can all build a better community together. The Sports Hall of Fame and Museum celebrates Virginia's rich athletic history by honoring those who've made an impact on the world of sports. But it's not just about competition. Hear how the Virginia Sports Hall of Fame is giving back to those young people who not only excel athletically, but academically as well. Stay tuned. Cox Connections is next. You're watching Cox Connections only on Cox 11. The Virginia Center for Inclusive Communities has been educating young people, educators, local leaders, and businesses in ways that build strong and vibrant communities. Recently, the VCIC partnered with the Conciliation Project to tackle the issue of bullying. Through a dramatic performance, students, teachers, parents, and schools are able to discuss the negative effects of bullying and effectively address the problem. With me today are President and CEO of the Virginia Center for Inclusive Communities, Jonathan Zor, and Josh Leidy, a junior at Lansdowne High School who attended the VCIC's Connections Institute retreat this summer. Thanks for being with us today.
Thanks very much for the opportunity.
Jonathan, let me start with you. I mean, the VCIC is celebrating its 76th anniversary this year. What does that say about the organization?
It's really exciting. We have a long history going back to 1935 of promoting understanding and respect. And our history as the Virginia region of the National Conference of Christians and Jews really informs the work that we do today. We take those principles of interfaith understanding and we try to address issues of racism and sexism, different forms of bias that have the potential to bring our communities apart. And we're really trying to maximize the potential that diverse perspectives and worldviews bring.
So what's been the impact?
The impact has been significant. In the last 6 years alone, we've been able to increase our programming by over 300% across Virginia. And right here in Hampton Roads, we're seeing great success with a few programs, in particular our work with youth around stereotypes and bullying reduction, and our work with adults on the academic achievement gap. We're showing successes in terms of percentage decreases in discipline referrals and bullying. We're seeing students in class more. We're seeing more respectful, inclusive environments.
So are there some examples that kind of stand out of how this work is impacting and making a positive difference in the community?
Absolutely. One of the middle schools rather, we worked with last year on an educational equity initiative, brought together teachers and administrators for retreats and then ongoing consulting. This past September 2011, saw a 74% decrease in the number of discipline referrals compared to the September the year before. We know that students, if they're in classrooms, are able to academically perform more successfully, and if teachers are not having to focus on discipline and on the negative characteristics and can focus on education, all of our communities are able to be that much stronger.
And so this issue of bullying, I mean, clearly there has to be a correlation between bullying and poor academic performance. And so can you
Most definitely. If I'm a student and I'm feeling bullied, I'm feeling harassed, I'm being called names, I'm not focused on my academics. I'm not thinking about what I'm there in school to actually do. Instead, I'm focused on the bullying. I'm thinking about that. And so if I feel a sense of belonging in my classroom, if I feel valued and affirmed, I'm more likely to go to class. I'm more likely to do my homework. I'm more likely to raise my hand or go to the front of the classroom to show people my work. All of that leads to our success within schools.
Humanitarian awards. The organization has those awards every year. What kind of person receives those awards?
It's a really exciting opportunity for us to recognize really the beacons of our community. So as we work to reduce the negativity within our schools, we're also highlighting and amplifying the individuals and organizations that are promoting understanding and respect.
Who are some of the past recipients?
We have elected officials, we have business leaders, but also the people who are behind the scenes, who are those quiet leaders. As I think about folks who, we have someone who was a Holocaust survivor who for many years did not talk about his experience, and after he was contacted by several schools to learn more, he made it his mission to be able to go into area schools and share his message with the community.
Josh, let me ask you, why did you get involved with VCIC?
I've always done like leadership things through like SCA or just with sports, because I've played soccer for a long time. And I'd gone to the Diversity Day at ODU past March. And again, the teacher who contacted me to go to Diversity Day contacted me again to come to Connections Week.
So can you talk about the retreat and what did you learn? What was some of the aha moments at the retreat?
Actually, I learned a lot. I didn't really realize how much racism there actually was and prejudice going on in the world. I just kind of thought it all the extreme things and never actually looked at the little things that can affect things more than, I guess, the bigger things. But the whole experience was it was amazing. I went into it, I wasn't sure about it, just because I was just a little bit skeptical. But as the week went on, I was gaining more friends that I usually probably wouldn't hang out with if I wasn't at one of these events. Sorry. So
the experience helped you to, I guess, be more tolerant of people and to see why people are not necessarily being tolerant. Is that?
I mean, I've always been pretty tolerant of people. I think usually, and I definitely just seeing how much it actually affects people, it opened my eyes to a lot. So I was almost, I guess, more just open to it.
What would you say to any other young adults listening to you, or what message would you say was really important coming out of that retreat?
I would just say just be more open-minded to things, and not just be so closed-minded and just to think what you think is right. Definitely listen to whatever other people have to say and just think of what they have to go through sometimes, and just see the world that everyone is different. But that's what makes the world so great, is that everyone is different.
Everybody is different. And that's you mentioned earlier, and Josh just hit on it. People are different, and so being inclusive is somewhat different than diversity. We only have a minute left, but Jonathan, can you talk a little bit about?
The presence of difference is a reality. So we see the 2010 census data. We know that our demographics are showing that our communities are more diverse than they've been before. That doesn't mean we're inclusive. That doesn't mean we're valuing and respecting and including people.
Right. And that's what Josh was talking about.
Absolutely, and
really
the skills that
recognizing
Josh and
I'm
others
different,
can
but
take
I
back.
can appreciate that. I don't just need to tolerate it, but I can appreciate that.
Most definitely.
And that's inclusiveness.
Absolutely.
Well, again, only 30 seconds left. What's the message to businesses and other organizations out here around what VCIC is doing?
We're really seeking to help people maximize the potential of diversity, to achieve success through inclusion. And we're able to see results when we move people like Josh from a process of awareness, learning, to action, where they can take leadership in their schools, similarly for adults with businesses and educational institutions.
If people want to contact you, I think we just showed your website up there. If we can put it up again. But
it's inclusiveva.org is the website. They can call us anytime at 804-515-7950.
Well, Jonathan, Josh, thank you so much for all of that you're doing. You're making our community a great place to live and work and do business.
Thank you very much.
Right after the break, it's the Student Athlete Achievement Awards, where young people are honored for their achievement in sports as well as their dedication to their academics. You'll meet this year's winners. We'll be right back with more COX Connections.